All right. Good afternoon, Rhino. Do you even remember me anymore? Does anyone even remember who I am? Because I've got lost in the wonderful pageantry and pleasantry of V. And she's amazing. And I'm just wondering if anyone even remembers who I am. Oh my God, it feels so good to be back. I literally missed you guys. So we're gonna let the room fill up a little bit. We're gonna shut the music off. I'm playing the same cello music that y'all already know, because those that have been on Rhino Wealth earlier today heard me playing cello music, and that's cool. By the way, people at Rhino Wealth, come on, you guys are making a lot of money, which is really cool because I'm making money and you're making money. But the coolest part about it is it's during a time where the market's just collapsing. For the last 2 weeks, any person that's in the market has lost money every single day, and yet Rhino Wealth is making money every single day. So I don't know if you can see how pumped up I am today. And you would think I just got out of bed, like Anthony, where does the energy come from? Well, it comes from a lot of places. But it's all natural. It's all natural energy. Actually, I don't even drink coffee anymore. All right, guys, let's just let everyone get in. And then we'll get into some fun stuff. So how is everyone else? Oh my God, this is so exciting. Oh my God, I feel like I'm a guest in my own house, right? Okay, hey, cool, nice to see you guys. I like what you did with the place. All right, I see that you, okay, cool, love it, love it, love it. And that's how this feels right now, which is totally cool because I love it. I'm excited also. Ron's excited, Don's excited. Which cello artist do you listen to? So Don, it's actually a cover. So it's this lady, I don't even know. So her YouTube is called Beautiful Life. But the way I found her is if you just put the name of the cello is Top Cello Covers of Popular Songs 2020. So it's songs like Memories and Señorita and Perfect and Despacito. And she just plays the cello, the cover over them. And I love it. Super, super, duper, duper love it. Huh. Okay. So we've come a long way. We've come a long way. And actually, just to go ahead and put a little bit of content to that, like a bit of an example, represent it. I got an email this morning from, hey, Deborah's in the house. So I got an email this morning from one of our original rhinos. And she was a rhino when Rhino was still a paid service. And this is months ago. In fact, we had canceled all payments for everyone November. It's now almost February. And she emailed and she goes, hey, Aunt, listen, sorry that I haven't been able to get in touch for a while. I know that I've been doing this $500 a month thing, but you did tell me that if I ever want to cancel, you would give me the refund. So can you go ahead and do that? Really so sorry. I wrote back, I was like, we have canceled your payments so long ago. We've went ahead and compensated the money so long ago. And here's the link that if you want to pick back up, it's completely free and let's get going. She writes back, she goes, what? She's like, excuse me? I'm like, yeah. She goes, wow, you really are. You guys are pretty good over there. I go, I know, because we're doing it for everyone. We're doing it for ourselves, but we're doing it for everyone. So the point of the story is we've come such a long way. And any person that ever will ask me for advice, right? How cool is that? So anyone that will ever ask me for advice in terms of anything, greetings from, Jensen Beaches in the house, advice for how to build a company, how to do anything. The advice is very simple. It takes fortitude, right? But just keep going forward. You do not know what it is that you're building yet. Just keep going forward. You have an idea. Do you believe it's the best idea? Do you believe the idea is going to evolve? Just keep going forward. Oh, you have something and you want to make sure it's really perfect on a piece of paper? No. Throw that piece of paper, get out there, just talk to people, build it, morph it, take advice, listen. It's just the stuff you got to do. And the reason I say that is because if you remember, we started as Hipsuation. Hipsuation was leveraging my background of behavioral science and teaching people how to navigate conversation and mobilize your partner to a destiny and an outcome that you might like. but not to go ahead and hypnotize them in a foolish way, in an evil way, but like, hey, I think this person would like that. Therefore, if I can move them to that, they would be grateful that I was able to do that for them. Then it went to Rhino Premier, which is now Rhino Wealth, which is a stock market research platform that people are loving even still today. In fact, I got an email today, made 40% overnight. The gentleman made $6,500 in less than 24 hours. Boom. You want to see it? It's right on Rhino Premier, right? Then went to Rhino Digital, where we taught everyone how to do internet marketing from zero to hero. And then we had our Rhino Concierge team, which we have a different semblance of that, but the same concept. Then we built Rhino, right? Like distributive marketing. Because all along the way, we realized that the value was not in any one person. Listen, I'm a really likable person. People like me. I'm a really personable person. I can talk to people quite easily. And regardless of how many different business ideas I've ever had, any businesses I ever heard, because I can't scale me, I can't create 1,000 of me. I cannot create 1,000,000 of me. And I'm sure there's some better than me and there's some worse. So this isn't a commentary on like Anthony thinks he's like God. No, Anthony thinks he's very good because he puts a lot of time and he works his butt off. But Anthony doesn't think he can hire 1,000,000 Anthonys. Therefore, Anthony cannot scale Anthony. Therefore, Anthony has to look, if Anthony wants to go ahead and create something that's so super duper, he has to look past the salesmanship of valuing any one person based on their own merits. And I know that sounds weird, Anthony, we're all based on our own merits. Yes, but your profit potential to Rhino is not based on your own merits. You by yourself will never make a difference in any company ever. It's just the facts. You are only one person. Say you have $1 billion, right? You're $1 billion. How much of that billion are you ever going to give to one company? Are you going to eat, drink, and sleep, Rhino? Do I need to make water products? Do I need to make food prep? Do I need to then go ahead and create gym? Like, how many things do I need to create to get such a percentage of what your money is that it makes sense? And now I have all these different things and only one customer. The point is, no one person will ever make a difference in someone's business. And I feel like that's the thing that large companies know, and that's the thing that small businesses don't know. Because small businesses will go ahead and compete for that marginal person. And I really think that's okay. Small businesses are built to be community-centric. They want to go ahead and earn Aaron's business down the block, and they love that Peter comes in every day, and they like Chad and Mike when they come in on their cute little dates. They like Kelly and Kimberly on their cute little dates, and they like Don that always comes in and talks about the old stories while he's drinking his coffee. They like these people. These people do make their business because that person lives in the community and they're a pillar of the community and they talk to other people in the community. Therefore, that one person really does make or break someone's business because they're influence over the community. That's small business operate. But small businesses have been pushed off Main Street and thrown into digital e-commerce world. COVID went ahead and shut down all your brick and mortars. They put you over here. Now you're competing with vicious, disgusting, nasty, big businesses. And I say that because big businesses just happen to kick a lot of butt. And that's a good thing. Like, I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, big business, how dare you? You guys are so bad. No, they're just really good. And they're better at it than you. Good, good, good. I don't care because I'm better at it than them, right? We can go ahead and be better than them. So I don't care how good they are. But up until the point they're winning on the scoreboard, they have all the data that you don't. They have all the resources you don't. They had a God knows how long of a head start while you're sitting there waiting for PPP money or enhanced unemployment money. They're doing really well. They were able to lower prices to a point that they were able to steal your customers and never give them back to you when your business went out of business. They went ahead and received government bailout funds that only gave you inflation. They're able to go ahead and hire your former employees for a rate that you can't pay them for. They're able to scale and buy so much size of a product that they can get the discount on it that you can't get, which allows them to sell it at a price that you can't sell it at. You can't compete against them because they kicked your butt. Now, I don't think they kicked your butt fairly. Not that I don't think they could have kicked your butt to begin with, but I don't think they did it fairly. Let's see. Oh, cool. I have a new person on my Slack. That's our developer for Rhino Search. So exciting. We're going to get to it. They did it because government and big business are partners. Because in this country called the United States, the concentration of wealth is so finely concentrated in the top 1% that nobody else matters. Think about it. You had COVID ravage this country, put like how many businesses out of business, unemploy how many people, and the stock market made new all-time highs. You know why? Because for the first time, people in this country realized that you're actually valueless. You do not have a value to the bottom line of the United States of America. You likely don't even pay taxes. If you do, you likely pay a small amount of taxes. The money that you have, do you go out and buy yachts and cars and boats and stuff? No, you probably buy your family food, right? You are not worth anything to the economy. In fact, you're worth so little to the economy that the economy paid you so that you could stay home so you cannot bother the economy as it was growing into a digital atmosphere. That's how little you mean to this country. Now, me personally, I think that I don't think that's cool, right? But I do understand capitalism. I do understand cycles. I do understand that that COVID accelerated the adoption of internet marketing, of e-commerce. It accelerated that digital revolution, and that makes sense to me. And those that were able to adapt were those that prospered the most. That makes sense to me. Here's the part that's not okay. Because there is a thing called technology, but there is a thing called government. There is a thing that is in place to go ahead and make sure that they do not leave human beings behind. Because when you have such an acceleration of innovation, you only have a select amount of the population that's educated enough to understand how to become competitive in it. Therefore, when you're dealing with technology that's scalable to the moon and back, one person can essentially monopolize an entire globe because they're dealing with computers that can be improved and upgraded with artificial intelligence and can be scalable to everything because it's all automated. It does not cost me anything to press a button and tweet out 50 million people if I had 50 million people following me. Therefore, you've had the opportunity that small sliver of the population that was educated enough and had the resources enough had a head start that was bigger than a regular head start. It wasn't like the tortoise versus the hare, and the hare just went around one thing. If you had a head start on technology, you are light years, literally in front of someone else. There is a large majority of population in this country that still don't know how to do a Facebook ad. You might laugh at that and think, oh my God, how can they not do a Facebook ad? Can you imagine learning how to do a Facebook ad today? What kind of competition you would face with the people that have been doing it for God knows how long? You've been doing it for the last year, 2 years, 3 years, and you're still not even good at it, right? I'm not even good at it. So what do you do with those people? Do you just let them die? Do you throw them into the ocean? Do you pretend like they're the Boston Tea Party and throw them overboard? What do you do with them? Do you give them universal income and say, hey, listen, I know you're going to die in like 20 years. Here's like a couple thousand a month, just like don't cause any problems for anyone. What do you do with those people? Because it's very easy to say, yeah, well, they're just not skilled enough to compete in this economy. Fine, get it, good, cool. So then what? Is there another part of that sentence? Is it a part of the sentence where it's like, well, this is what this is the solution for them? Or is it simply just, let's leave them in homes that they can't afford, they can't pay the mortgage, they can't pay the rent, the banks are gonna take over. Let's not air the fact that we go ahead and make them homeless. And then let's go ahead and tease them and say it's, oh, you're on government welfare because you're not good, because you're lazy. You stayed home because you're lazy. That's not it. That's not fair. Now, I've heard people say fair is a place where they go to judge pigs, right? Like a fair, you get like funnel cake, which is absolutely delicious. Fun fact, when my wife was pregnant, she went through so much that I admired to the hill and back. And then one day we had the fair down the block and she's like, I really want funnel cake. And I knew that to be my opportunity. I drove there, spent an hour online, an hour to get in, got 2 funnel cakes, brought it home, and I was a hero. And in my head, I'm like, I just traded 9 months pregnancy with getting funnel cake, deal. Anyway, point is delicious. Anyway, okay, let's keep going. So what do you do with these people? Well, the problem is, inherent in the question is an absurdity that is overlooked. They are not valueless. They're valueless by themselves. They do not have a value to the economy by themselves. But if you put them all together, they're worth more to the economy than the 1%, and that's not even difficult. right? Because the 1% has what? 1% of the population. That's why they're called the top 1%. It's not like a cute little term. They're 1% because it was 1% of the population, which means what does the rest of the country have? 99% of the population. The rest of the country might not have good paying jobs. The rest of the country might not have successful businesses. The rest of the country might not have an education level. The rest of the country might not have A, B, C, D, E, and F, but they have 99% of the population. That is nature's balance. You want to go ahead and F over 99% of the population? Guess what? They're 99 times bigger than you. You can't do it. You could be the coolest kid in the world, but if you have 99, okay, you're in a courtyard. You're walking, I watch Game of Thrones with my wife and she has me watching it. And there's this one guy that dies really early on. Spoiler alert. He thought he was the king of something. So he gets this tribe to go ahead and fight for him because they're going to get back his kingdom. And he's talking to them like he owns them. They look at him and they go, and I'm paraphrasing, bro, you know there's 99 of us and one of you. And then they kill him. The point is, you can be as cool as you want, but if you don't have the population, you have nothing. Because here's the thing. There's never been a congressman voted without a vote. There's never been a congressman in office without a vote. There's never been a company that created a profit without a customer. You can't do it without people. In fact, right now, if we were so inclined, and if this was being heard around the globe, like it was 1984 style, and I was on those TVs at the top of the pole, like attention, 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 dear Walmart, we can make you bankrupt tomorrow. Watch this. Everyone, no one shop at Walmart again. Now all of a sudden Walmart doesn't have a customer. Do you know what Walmart would do if they didn't have a customer? They have what, like a bazillion stores with like a bajillion products with how many employees? They'd have to cut their employee staff. They'd have to just fire sales products. The stockholders would be on the church line begging for money. That's the power of population. The population is more powerful than Walmart. The population is more powerful than anything. It is the most powerful thing, and we have it. We're the 99%, but we don't know it. We don't think it because we don't have the ability to. We don't have a leader, I guess. We don't have somebody that's willing to shepherd the messaging. We don't have an honest media. We don't have somebody that's able to go out there and say, hey, this is the actual balance in the world. We don't, I think we've learned the hard way that 50% of people are susceptible to brainwashing. Like when I see someone wearing a mask while they're driving in a car by themselves, I think they're crazy. Maybe you're one of them. I actually think you're crazy, but I don't think it's your fault. I think you were brainwashed. I think those people are brainwashed. To go ahead and believe that you're unsafe breathing in your own air just makes no sense to me. I've seen people jogging outside wearing a mask, and I'm just like I don't even know how that calculates. And I don't mean to poke fun at those people, but I do mean there's a certain level of brainwashing that's just okay. So if you have that level of brainwashing, then you never actually have to be fair to the population because you can always divide them. That 99% is always divisible. Now, how many times can you divide them? By how many different lines? By gender lines, by race lines, by demographic lines, by income lines, by state lines, by political lines. And when you start dividing them all up, you realize you're able to take that 99% to make 99 different slivers. Therefore, the top 1% wins in a game where it's one time verse one, verse one, verse one, verse one, verse one. They kick the living shit out of all of us. But that's not the game. That's the game we've been told to play. But can we ever have someone that says, hey, listen, we don't need to play that game. Enough of you and your stupid games. That's it. How do you do that, though, is the point. How do you go ahead and get to a population and say, hey, guys, listen, this is what's going on? The problem is you can't do that, right? You can't have like, attention, this is an alert, this is breaking news. If you guys just stay together and sing Kumbaya, we win. It doesn't work that way. People are always going to be vested in their own interests. And more so than that, people are always going to be vested in their own life versus anyone that interferes in their life. You could come into someone's life and say, eating grapes will cure cancer. They can have cancer. You walk away and they're like, eating grapes. Whatever, even if it did, that person doesn't own me. It's like, and that's fine, that's human nature. But how do you go ahead and get this happening? You have to find a way that you could be in everyone's self-interest together, that everyone has a similar self-interest, that they just are automatically going to go ahead and do the right thing. right? That's how human beings are programmed. All right, if we all eat breakfast, we are not hungry in the morning. I don't need to then tell you to eat breakfast. You're just going to eat breakfast. And if you don't eat breakfast, you're going to be hungry. You're going to say, oh, darn, I wish I ate breakfast, right? That's the way that works. You have to do everything in people's self-interest, which is what big tech is so wonderful at doing. Like, I hate them, but I don't. I hate what they do with the power they have, because I so clearly can see, and I'm sharing it with you because we're all doing it together and we're going to realize it together, that they could be fighting for such good. This world, if you took that 1% and shared it equally amongst people, oh my God, Anthony's talking about socialism. No, he's not. It is not socialist to believe that one person should not have $1 trillion while everyone else has $1, right? Like, there's called fairness, right? So I don't, when I say equally, it's to compensate by not being able to say, well, Mike gets $10 and Kevin gets 9, right? Like, equally. If tech was able to go ahead and share that top 1% equally amongst everyone, think about the innovation that would come up from everyone. You know, and people could say, well, you know, there's all these social justices and there's these evils in society and there's this and there's that. I honestly don't care. I really don't. Maybe I grew up a certain way where it's like, suck it up. But I don't think that's real. Now, let me take a step back. I do think certain evils exist, but I don't think evils exist on such a mass scale that it's like, if you walk into a building and this building has this type of people, then you must fear for your life because those type of people are 100% going to do this, right? Like, I don't, now, I'm a white guy, right? So like, has anyone been racist against me ever? But I don't feel like we live in a racist society. I don't feel like I live in a society where cops are going to do really bad things. I don't feel like I live in a society where you could talk about any political, gender, racial, like anything you want. I don't feel like I live in a society that says, okay, because you're this and not that, I'm going to throw away everything that's unique to you, your own merit, and I'm just going to go ahead and placate based on these shallow attributes of yourself. I just don't believe it. Maybe I'm naive, I don't know. But I believe that the best person always gets the best reward. Now, do I believe some people have a harder path to it? I do. I think there is a systemic nature in this globe that some people have gotten a head start, and I think that comes down to education, right? So for instance, I grew up in a household where I was at private school since I was a child. I had the best education my entire life. Do I think that's what makes me smart? No, but I think it went ahead and nurtured who I am. I think it weaved around the edges and gave me a home to come home to, and it gave me an upbringing to have it. It gave me something to look forward to. It gave me examples, it gave me features, it gave me friends. It gave me things that were people that I want to be like. I think the community aspect of everyone trying to succeed together and purposely believing they could succeed together went ahead and weaned out all the bad apples. I didn't grow up with people selling drugs left and right or doing this or doing that, where I felt like, oh, I need to go do that. It just wasn't part of my life. So I do believe there's a systemic nature, and I'm not talking about racial or gender, I'm talking about across the board, that education opportunity is always going to be the solution to everything. Because you could be the biggest dirtbag in the entire world, but it's probably because you have nothing to live for. You just are like, everyone has me over, I'm going to do this, cool, do you, right? But if I went ahead and said, hey, listen, we have this opportunity for you. And if you're able to do this, and I'm going to work with you, and we're going to put the people in place to make sure that you're successful. Just answer me one thing. Are you committed to being successful and living a life that's different than yours if we put everything around you and allow you to grow in such a way that we will attain that goal together with you? I think the answer is yes. I really, truly believe that 100 out of 100 times the answer is yes. And if that's the case, then you could take everything else and it had nothing to do with the attributes of the person. It had to do with the upbringing of the person. So I believe that when you talk about how the top 1% has this 1% that's not spread out amongst, think about all the people in the population that have divorce in their household and depression in their household and drugs in their household and crime in their household and all of this stuff because they were unable to ever feel like they had an opportunity or an education to go ahead and build bigger, right? They couldn't build back better, right? Like they were unable to do that. Therefore, all right, you know what? The system effed me over. I see what it did to my parents. The banks took my house. My parents' house. My parents got divorced. My mother met her high school sweetheart on Facebook. He had the money. He was a banker, so she's with him. My father's now a drug addict, and I feel bad for him. These stories aren't like Anthony didn't just make them up. They exist in real life. So how do you go ahead and do that? When I take a look at big tech, I say, you guys are real dirtbags. Like, you live in these ivory towers and you don't see anything that's going on. But here's the thing that gets me. What makes them so masterful at exactly what they do is that they created products that you think are free. It's like the line, the devil's greatest trick was tricking y'all that he doesn't exist. That's what Wall Street is. They have done this masterful trick of tricking you to believe that they don't exist. Big tech does not give away free products. When you go on Facebook and you're like, oh my God, this is free. I got a free profile. Like, click these buttons. It's free. It's not. You're a hamster on a wheel where they're taking all of your data and selling it off left and right to the highest bidder. You go ahead and click a picture of a potato, and now potato farmers are sending you ads because they know that you like potatoes. That click that you thought was so innocuous and it was free actually cost real money, because that potato farmer sent Facebook money for leads that were going to be receptive to potatoes. Take that, multiply it by infinity, bring it down to the depths of your heart, and you're understanding how these companies make money. Bing, right? It's a cool little search engine. Like Bing, all right, I went on Bing, I searched for something, I found it. Sounds great, right? You had a good experience, which is why you're going to come back to it. Google, Yahoo, MSN, DuckDuckGo, whatever search engine you could think of, you had a good experience. It was free. You went on it. You said, I'm looking for ice cream, and an ice cream shop popped up near you. Or you were looking for something that wasn't so localized. You were looking for a bike, or you were looking for a car, or you were looking for a lawnmower. And then all of a sudden you get ads from Sherwin-Williams or Harley Davidson or Schwinn bikes, right? What about Fred down the block, who lost his brick and mortar business where he was selling bikes for 200 years? It was a family business, and you will never see his ad. You will never know that his family built the best bikes and that they were loved amongst the townspeople. You know why? Because Fred doesn't have the money to compete on those search engines. Fred is in a big Wall Street company. Fred will never be on the first page. Fred does not have the money to go ahead and buy ads. So what happens to Fred? But I promise you, if you went on a search engine, I said to you, do you want to buy a bike from Schwinn, who's worth like $1 bazillion trillion, or would you like to go ahead and at least take a look at Fred's bikes, whose family business has been doing it for 300 years? He now doesn't have a brick and mortar business. He does it out of his house, and he does it with his family. Who do you want to support? I think the obvious answer is Fred. I think we all say Fred. We all want to go ahead and root for the underdog, because here in America, we always root for the underdog. You want to know why Rocky was such a great movie? Because he had no business winning any of those fights. He was this bum from Philadelphia who couldn't even put two sentences together, but the fact that he never gave up. He always got back up. To this day, Rocky is the most famous athlete in Philadelphia, and he's not even real, right? Because he's from Philly. I went to school in Philly. I can tell you it's a horrible town. Although, Old City was really cool. And the cheesesteaks are a complete tourist trap, right? It's not good. Anyways, I think we would all choose Fred. The problem is, how do we ever know about Fred? How can we? So that's been the evolution of Rhino, right? We've been trying to find ways, and it's not that we're going to find ways by putting our hands in a hat and saying, okay, this worked, this didn't work. We have to just be in it. We have to talk to our people. We have to spend every day being in communication. V is a host, and she's phenomenal. And her biggest skill set is that she's just lovable. And people might even think, Anthony, or she might even think, why are we doing this every day? Sometimes we have 10 people, sometimes we have 100 people. And it's because we want everyone to know we're always going to be there with you. We're never leaving. We're always right here. But more so than that, we need the feedback. We need the advice. We want to know everything that you're thinking, because you represent the market. You represent all of us. If I was only selling to me, I would only be my only buyer, if that makes sense at all. Because I like things and do things that other people don't like. I buy pickles. My wife hates pickles. You know why I buy pickles? And I love pickles because she hates pickles. I've loved pickles anyway, but when pickles are home, I get to eat them all. I buy steak. She eats all of it, right? I buy pasta, I get to eat that. The point is, in my own household, with the person I love more than God itself, I guess God itself, more than life itself, we're completely different. So even that, if I was selling things in my house, I would have one buyer and maybe my son, right? Like, because I think he likes me. So we just want it all. Like, I love the emails I get. I love the phone calls I take. Abigail's, her schedule is always, I see people booking all the time. People book with me all the time. People send emails all the time. We have a good grasp from us. Now, what's the coolest part about that is the fact that we are completely organic. Everyone here, I've either emailed or has heard about us from somebody or has participated in one of our platforms and said, you know what, I like what these people are doing. Let me stick around. And what I think everyone likes the most is the recognizable growth. Yeah, Anthony and Rhino, they don't sit stagnant. They're always doing something bigger. And I know their hearts. I see it when he speaks. I believe in them. I'm going to stick with them. That has allowed us to go from, when we launched Rhino just a couple of months back, this platform, we had, I think the first week, 185 people. We're up to like almost 700 and it's been 10 weeks. That's completely, I cannot express this, completely 100% word of mouth. I think I run $10 a day in Facebook ads just so like I could warm up that account, because when we do need to do massive spends, I don't need Facebook being like, who are you? Right? So like I have little tricks. I have a $10 a day Twitter account so that they know that like I'm a reasonable person and my credit card works, right? Like stuff like that. But I don't even look at the metrics. I'm not like, oh my God, my cost per acquisition. This has all been organic. This has all been, in fact, I've gone to the length that every single day, and I hope Active Campaign isn't listening, I go ahead and how can I put this that like nobody can nail me on it? By the good fortunes of God, I somehow come across relevant daily emails that somehow across the internet find their way into my Excel sheet, right? Through various methods. And I cold email every single day. In our email, there's about 1,000 or 2,000 emails that go out every day that people have never heard from me, and I just found their email the day before. So every one of the emails that you get, you might think to yourself, Ant, this is kind of vague, or you sent this yesterday, or I remember this from a week ago, or why are you talking to me like you've never met me before? Because it's not you. It's everyone. I'm accountable to the platform. My obligation is the platform. My obligation is to grow to the platform, because that's the rising tide that lifts all of us Rhino boats up. So, and everyone understands that. I never get email back from people like, hey, Ant, that was a really like not a cool email. Everyone gets it. And we've been growing and growing and growing. So we, on this call right now, have people from Australia to New Zealand to the UK to California, like all of these, to Sweden, like all of these different places. And it's simply as a fact of like, either people have known Rhino or been part of Rhino, or been introduced to Rhino. And when you have such feedback from so many different walks of life, from so many different countries, then when you go ahead and form an opinion, and when you go ahead and form a business and an idea and a path, it is a fully formed, thought out idea. It involves everyone involved. Anything that we do is based on the premise that everyone that it's going to be pleasing to our community. And our community is global, every demographic, every age group, every gender, every country. So if we do something that's well liked, it is such a wonderful sample size that we know can scale. So in doing so, we're all feeling the shift of the planet. I love it. So in doing so, as we get closer to that big idea, we're getting there. So, all right, so how do we find Fred, right? Like, so we can agree that we would all prioritize Fred, but Fred can't be put in front of us. So what are we missing? Why can't we search Fred? I know, because these platforms are all for profit, because they're owned by Wall Street companies. These platforms have no business and do not give an SHIT about small business, because like the economy has proven, small business is completely valueless to the economy as a whole. Therefore, if they're valueless to the economy, they're certainly valueless to companies that are trying to compete in the economy. Can you imagine a company that said, all right, I'm just going to compete by just having small businesses, and all these small businesses going to pay me, I don't know, like $5 a month, because that's all they can afford, and I'm going to really grow my company? They would say, are you out of your freaking mind? You're going to be bankrupt before you know what to do with. How are you going to hire employees? How are you going to do this? How are you going to do that on the income of just those small businesses? So nobody cares about Fred and his bike shop. I was gonna say stupid bike shop. It's not stupid to me, but a lot of people think it's a stupid bike shop. So how do you get there? Well, so what Rhino decided to do when we were a paid platform was that we were going to go ahead and create an app that was going to allow you to, this is who I am, this is my mission statement, this is my value proposition, these are my company updates, these are my products, click here, nice and easy, you got to know the person, because that's what we believe people would buy. If you were able to see the person and see that there's somebody you'd like to support, the product is secondary. I've always believed, so here's like a foundational element of Rhino. And if you don't agree with this, then you should not be part of Rhino, because this will infuse the DNA of Rhino forever. People buy people, they don't buy product. That is my belief. I believe that if somebody sees somebody they like, they will find a reason to support them regardless of product. Like, for instance, I remember one time a Girl Scout came to my door. She was selling these horrible cookies. Well, actually, they're all delicious, but the ones that she had like Thin Mints, and I don't like Thin Mints. I don't think mints should be anywhere outside of a toothbrush, but that's a story for another day. I was like, do you have Samoas? She goes, no. I go, you should get some Samoa of that, and she didn't think it was funny, so whatever, right? So she had Thin Mints, and I have $5, and she has Thin Mints, and I have $5, and I like $5, and I don't like Thin Mints. You know what happens? I had Thin Mints, and she had my $5. How did that happen? I did not eat the Thin Mints. I found someone to give the Thin Mints to. I really wish I had the $5 because I like $5. But I bought the person. I wanted to support her. She was like this most amazing, cute little girl with the blue little like whatever and the pink tails. And she's like, hi, I'm Sally. And I was like, oh my God, I love you. Here, take all my money. I guess you shouldn't do that, right? Like that's something different. The point being, that's real. People will buy people, not product. The product is always secondary. So if I was looking to buy a bike and I came across Fred's shop, I would actually spend a premium to support Fred, because I know that every time I rode that bike, not only would I feel the craftsmanship and the time spent and the generational inside of it, but I'd also be like, you know what? I feel pride. I feel not pride. Pride goes before the fall. I feel pleasure in riding this bike around my town. And when people ask me, where'd you get it? I would stop and I would tell them where I got that bike, because I feel that if they knew the story, they would support too. You know, in businesses or kids that have backpacks that are like made in Cambodia, and they bring it in here and they sell it for like $20 on the promise that 10 of those dollars goes back to the community and the village that built it, the backpack, like $100, right? And never ever is there a time that someone goes, well, I can get a different backpack, a much better one, much more, for $20. Your backpack is wildly overpriced. They might buy the backpack or not, but they never sit there and talk about price, because the price didn't matter. They know what the price is going to. They are signed on with helping and supporting that village, and they understand what these kids are doing. People will always buy people. Product is secondary. So how do we find Fred? Okay. So when we built out Rhino, like I said, it was with the paid platform. We were also having all of those members that were on the platform contributing $500 a month. Those contributions were then going to go into our marketing efforts, of which case that money was then going to funnel. I forgot how we were doing it. That money was going to go to the people we marketed to. Therefore, if you went ahead and allowed us to market to you, we would go ahead and share the profits with you. We would share monies with you. And that was a good idea, but as you can see, there's plenty of problems with it, right? Because in building a business on the backs of small businesses, contributing $500 a month to something that wasn't going to fully mature for months in the future, A, how long were they going to stay put? B, how hard of a sale was that to go ahead and maintain or to go ahead and close? C, what's the retention level of those people? D, what if some missed payments? Do you shut off their app? Who do you make the deals with? And then you have to go ahead and do some kind of accounting structure so that everyone that's participating believes that they're getting their fair share. Like, there was so much landmines, right, to do. And then on top of it, we still don't even have a Rhino app. Now, to that, I think we kind of paused with it. I know Abigail's working on it, but on her list of things, we don't even talk about it anymore. We'll get it one day, fine. And we will actually, you know what? Let me pause. We will have it this year because at the end of the year, we do need it. But to go ahead, and if we can't even get an app for ourselves, how are we going to do this really, really big business that's all dependent on making apps for the people? So we said, okay, the idea made sense. People like people, but we weren't going to be able to do this if we were going to charge people, and we weren't going to be able to do it if money was involved, and we weren't going to be able to do it if it was dependent on someone else's technology, like, ugh. So we made the whole platform free. And we said, you know what? We're not taking anyone's money. Oh, what are we gonna do? Like, we cannot be a business if we're free. Like, we need to go ahead and come into some income because we need to finance the business. So we said, okay, we don't want money from small businesses. We do not want money that's allocated to someone's business. But that top 1% is the top 1% because they have all the money, or the people that are going to become part of the 1% are the people that go ahead and make the correct investments. The top 1% does not have money in their bank accounts. It's not like Elon Musk has $1 trillion in his bank account. That doesn't work like that. He owns a stock, which is an investment in his company, right? Those Bitcoin millionaires and billionaires, they don't have that money in their bank account. They have it in the Bitcoin and whatever. Now, granted, they probably sold some and well-funded their bank accounts, et cetera, et cetera. But they became that top 1% because they made the correct investment. So one could say the top 1% is there because of prior investments and or current investments. Therefore, for those that want to participate at that level, we're okay taking their money because that money is going for investment. Rhino has no interest in burdening small businesses with having to fund their own business, because we believe that the value of a population is far more than any individual, and therefore we'll go ahead and shepherd that value and distribute it out to them. We do not feel like any of those should be burdened with that. We want to rebalance the scale of fairness. But for those that are looking to make an investment and make a profit and things like that, well, we think we're going to work harder than anyone ever. So we think we're doing you a favor by allowing you to invest with us. And that's not me saying it to be like, ha, ha, ha. But I know that if I had the opportunity to invest in me, I would. And that's what I do. I know how hard we work. I know what we're going to do. Therefore, I never take $1 from anyone that I do not believe that they're going to say thank you for. Therefore, our whole entire community is built on the sense that the finances is coming in from the people that are buying the coin, who ultimately are going to be the millionaires of tomorrow, while the people on the platform are able to grow business and live a good life while still owning some of the coins so that they can become millionaires as well, right? This is all how that works. But still, oh, that'd be pretty cool. Rhino coins. Like, we should actually take note of that. We should put Rhino coins in the charity portion. People buy actual physical coins. That'd be really cool. Anyway, but still, how do we go ahead and create something that's going to be of such value, that's investable, and simultaneously helps build out a community, that helps go ahead and build out a business? So the idea that we had continued to blossom, and then it just became obvious. So then we built out Rhino Marketplace. And Rhino Marketplace was a marketplace of all different companies that we helped create. So many of the companies like Don's and others are companies that they've already had, right? They have their website, they have their customers, and that's great. Like, we know their businesses. I was interviewed on Don's platform, so I have high praise for the people that are on our marketplace. And we were able to welcome them right on. So we built out the logos, made the sites, made the marketplace listing, great. Then you had those that did not have a business, but they had a business idea. And they're like, you know, if I just had some internet expertise and I had an ability to put my site somewhere and there was traffic and people went to it, and there was somebody that would share it with people and someone that would email for us, that would be great. But where do I find it? And that's what Rhino wants to do. So the 50 listings, and I think we're up to 50 now, are all that, right? But now here came the problem. If those listings got to 100, 200, 300, which they are, which is the goal, even 50 hits a number that puts the problem. How can anyone ever go on in any organized fashion other than feeling like they're going to a thrift shop? Our Rhino Marketplace was a human thrift shop, right? Like, you went on and you're like, well, This company does that. I don't really need that. This company does that. And you were only going to look at companies as far as your finger could scroll, or as far as the amount of time that you've had, right? So that created a challenge that we had to come up with a solution. So we created a search bar on it. And that's when things changed. Because in that moment, what is that search bar? That search bar is the gateway. That search bar is the gateway from regular person, stranger, prospect, anyone, doesn't matter, from person to business. That gateway only opens the doors to the results we put on the opposite end. Therefore, you can only search Rhino companies on the Rhino search engine on Rhino Marketplace. And that started really developing an idea, because we can get Fred on, we can go ahead and populate the results. Then we could go ahead and code out the search bar to go ahead and only show the results of the companies that we're highlighting. Therefore, we know we now have a metric. The amount of times that search bar is clicked equals the amount of searches that are going to our businesses. Meaning the more clicks, the more customers that are coming into our Rhino ecosystem, right? The more people that are interested in our results, and our results are businesses. Therefore, let's say we have 1 billion clicks on Rhino, right? 1 billion clicks on Rhino search engine, which, by the way, Google gets like 7 billion clicks a day. I'm not saying we're Google, but I will go ahead and paint a story that allows us to compete with them. So please stick with me. So say we get 1 billion clicks to this search engine. We only have 50 companies. That's crazy. Like, that means there's going to be people that click that just literally buy anything from these companies, because that's all that exists. Or they're going to say, why did I even click this stupid search engine? There's not enough results there. I don't even want to be here. Peace out. So how can we get people to come to that search engine? Well, now you're actually almost capturing an entire demographic, right? Because the thing that Google and Yahoo and Bing do, because they're complete dirtbags that care about nothing other than profit, and God bless them, they're Wall Street companies, that's what they do. But they are completely indiscriminate to who's on their search engine. As long as it's legal, they don't give an SHIT. If you're a www and you have a .com or a .org or a .io, they go ahead and pull from all of that. And they then rank you based on website traffic as the last resort. If you go ahead and have ad spends with them, or you're a big Wall Street company, you're on the first page. Everyone knows 89% go on the first page and never go to a second page. Therefore, only the biggest and most successful companies ever get identified on these platforms. Therefore, the biggest and most successful companies are loyal to Google and everything of the world. Therefore, Wall Street goes ahead and takes care of Wall Street, and the biggest companies profit off the other biggest companies. Great. Because there's no business in small business. You cannot create a search engine and prosper off small business. You couldn't. These small businesses aren't going to go ahead and pay Rhino thousands of dollars to be featured on it. And if they did, it would constantly be a retention game. All right, we have 100 companies this month that are paying us 1,000, but we're not getting enough results to them. So now some fell off and we're getting more, because you remember the results have to scale for the person coming to the search engine to feel confidence that they're going to get an experience and get a result that they're looking for. The first thing a search engine has to do is be functional. If I search a search engine and don't get what I'm looking for, if I type in ice cream and bologna sandwich comes up, I'm not going back to it. So it has to be coded properly, but it has to have a result pool that allows the person that are clicking to go ahead and feel confidence. So let's talk about this. So theoretically, you could have a search engine for anything, right? Like you could have a search engine for just, I don't know, people named Fred. All right, this is the Fred search engine. Okay, cool. The problem is people never actually know that. Search engine, like, oh, can't compete with Google. You don't have to compete with Google. You can create a search engine that just has the results that you're looking for. So, all right, this is the Fred search engine. This is the Mary search engine. This is the bicycle search engine. And all those things would fail because you can never scale those large enough that search engine is going to be global. A bike, okay, so you have a couple of bike companies or like 10 bike companies. How do you differentiate between the bike companies? Anyone that goes on that search engine is like, okay, bike company 1, bike company 2, bike, like how could you? And then those bike companies inherently are going to compete with each other, and this one's going to want to ad spend, and this one's going to be number 1. And you're back to square one, where Google and Yahoo and them are really, really smart because they're just general stores. They're the biggest general stores in the entire world. The problem is the only people that ever profit off being in their general stores are the ones that are on the shelves that are in front of your face, like Johnson and Johnson or Procter and Gamble. If I go look at the bottom, maybe I'll find that really good barbecue sauce from Louisiana. But if I just walk in, I see like Sweet Baby Ray's, right? Like that's what they are. But we know that people would go ahead and go to Fred's shop. People buy people, not product. So can you create a search engine that's based on the premise of people buying people? Can you create a search engine that only results in small businesses? Would you go to a search engine that you knew that every single one of those results were all small businesses, mom and pop shops, Main Street businesses that were not Wall Street companies? I think the answer is yes. I think right away you say, well, why does that not exist? Like, why can't I make the choice? If I want to support a big business, I go to a Wall Street search engine. If I want to support a small business, I would go to RHINOStreet Search Engine. RHINOStreet. We're getting somewhere. So what if that search engine only had Rhino companies? And Rhino companies, you know what? Rhino is a word, but it's also a culture. What Rhino means is it's the mom and pop. It's the person that just is community centric, that starts from the bottom, that wants to build, that has good ethics, has good morals, and is just trying to do the right thing and have a good life and support the American dream for their family. They're not the person that answers to shareholders and walks around taking his ring off when he feels like to go do cocaine off some stripper's butt, right? That's Wall Street. That's not RHINOStreet. Why can't I go ahead and just support RHINOStreet? Why can't I go ahead and go to a search engine that only gives me small businesses? Well, one doesn't exist. But if I had the opportunity to go to one, I surely would. When I send flowers, I don't go to 1-800-flowers.com, and I'm sure their flowers are great. I look at Google, right? What flower shop is local? Pick that and then send the flowers. So here's the double-edged prong of it, right? So if you know everyone would go ahead and support the search engine if they were educated on what it is, and you know everyone that would like to be on the search engine would happily accept to be on the search engine because they're not identified and they're not recognized or highlighted anywhere else, you have a gateway that you just have to build and market and share the word, because the people on the left that want to search this engine and the people on the right that want to be on it are already there. You just have to go communicate what you are and message it to them. You have to give them a vision of what it would look like. And that's where the Rhino coin comes in, because every single company on this search engine will be closing out in Rhino coin starting January 2023. Every single company will have Rhino coin wallet attached to their merchant accounts. That's beautiful, which means every transaction on this raises the value of the coin. Now, Anthony, why, it all sounded great and then you threw the coin in there. Well, how does that really? Well, again, the value of a search engine is the clicks. The value of the search engine is having the opportunity that in that moment that the person's looking to buy something, that you're able to capture that buying behavior and distribute it out to the companies that you're looking to reward, to go ahead and support. Therefore, when people click search, these are potential buys. You're then distributing it out to the companies that you want to support. Therefore, they're looking to buy from these companies. These companies are collecting those interests of purchases. Everyone's happy. Well, where does the coin come in? Well, don't we want these people that are searching to have the opportunity to own this platform? Don't you think the searches should be owned by you? See, all I've given you is a good marketing speech. I've just given you a good sales speech. Everyone's like, "Raw, Anthony, that sounds great, but how does any of you prosper all from that?" Well, Ann, I'll be a company on it. Great. You finally get some sales. Oh, Ann, I want to go support companies. Great. You could go buy from someone that you might like. But how does that actually support you? Because all that means is Anthony's going to make $1 trillion and you're going to be happier than you were before, but your life is still going to stay relatively the same income level. That's where the coin comes in. Because we distribute the coin out to everyone, because we allow everyone the opportunity to purchase the coin, and because the coin is based on the transactions, and because when the transactions go up, the coin value goes up because the transactions buy the coin, everyone that owns the coin, that's the ticket to the money that you're looking for. The 7 right now, Google, Yahoo, Facebook, and Bing collectively are worth $7 billion. Those search engines are worth close to $7 billion. Now, Bing is obviously owned by Microsoft, so take Microsoft out. Those search engines are worth $5 billion. No, billion, I'm sorry, $5 trillion. all on a free product. Now imagine if the market cap of the coin was 5 trillion. Imagine if we were able to capture the value that's already out there for people clearly just clicking buttons, and we were able to return it to the people who are actually the clicks. Imagine if you actually were able to prosper from somebody clicking you. Imagine if you were able to prosper from clicking somebody else. Why don't you have the opportunity to own exactly what it is that this is? That's right. So the coin I bring up, and we're going to go 10 minutes extra today because I do need to make sure that everyone has the opportunity to purchase more coin. Because by the next time I'm out here, it's going to be February and the coin's going to be higher. So this is kind of like you can buy the coin anytime you want, but in terms of seeing my face, this will be the last opportunity that you have to purchase it before it makes its increase, because it goes up 1 cent every month. But I do want to show you something because everything, oh my God, Bruce, I see you on. I know we emailed at 2 in the morning. I know I have something I need to do for you. I will do it, I promise, sorry. We do want to go ahead and show you that's the direction we're going to. So if you agree with us that this search engine idea is like, whoa, wait a second. They're onto something with this, but can you get the look and feel? Can you see it? Right now it's just words, but can you see it? Okay. So what I would like to show you is a prototype. Now, we went ahead and identified a really, really special coder, developer. And I say that because Abigail's main task over the last week was in taking interviews with many different developers. She just took a second call with a developer yesterday that she likes a lot, and her and I are going to have a 3-way call with him sometime this week. We believe we're going to hire him. He has gotten our complete design. He understands what it is we're looking to do, and he is fully on board with it. We are going to own what I'm about to show you. So what I'm about to show you, we own the URL, and the website is not functional. The two subtitle buttons are, but the search bar is not functional. But I'm doing this so that you can see. I want you to see where we're going. Nice and clean, right? So we're gonna add to this, but I don't want you to be underwhelmed by how clean this is. It's a search engine, RHINOStreet. Bottom left, how Rhino works, it's going to bring you to DM, which is a site that we're going to refurbish and go ahead and make more congruent with this message, because we're going to have to teach and educate what RHINOStreet is, who is it that we're supporting, and how people can support them. And then on the bottom right, become a search result. That's going to, maybe that should be a listing or I don't know. We're still moving with this, but that's going to take you to the form that allows you to go ahead and get on the marketplace, which is now going to be behind this. Nice and clean. So let me see my chat with Abigail, because there was something else I want to show you. Where are you, Abigail? Hold on. Okay. And then, all right. Of course, why would anything ever just go my way? Okay. So this is the RHINOStreet, and then what you'll find is this is going to be the search results. Can I? Okay. So the search results, kind of like it is on Google, right? You have the business name, the website, and then the description of what they are. But this is all being done. Rhino is actually going to have, oh my God, I probably should hide some of that stuff, right? So Rhino is actually going to have their own search engine. Now, what's the marketing behind this, right? So actually, I'm not going to get into it today because I have a 30-second commercial in mind that we are going to build. We hired a fantastic videographer. I think he's in South Carolina. Like, the things that are about to happen are much bigger steps than what we have been doing. So I think it's a videographer. And the vision of what I have in terms of this ad is going to come to life. And come, I think April, let's check it out, right? So let's go to google.com, distributive marketing. Go to our page, #1, of course, on the rankings. Why wouldn't it be? Go to Rhino Coin. Go to Rhino balance sheet. And like I've always shared with everyone, you have the balance sheet here, so you can see how we're doing. But down here is our 222 calendar. I update this all the time. I updated this today. This is for you to know exactly what we're doing this year. January, Rhino Meeting host. Who doesn't love V? We've got it. We spent the whole month developing all the goals for that. Rhino Feed, do you guys know what that is? Rhino Search Engine, are we talking about it? Are you part of Rhino Partners? Do you see her organizing meetings, scheduling speakers? Who hasn't received the email from her, right? We went ahead, and it's January 26th, and we kicked so much butt with that line item. Now we're in February. RHINOStreet ad, which is the ad I'm telling you about, plus a search engine will be built by the end of the month, plus a website refresh. March, we're going to start running paid ads to Rhino Search Engine, which is going to allow us to get real-time perspective on how people like it, how many searches are going to it, what are they searching. That information, that data is going to allow us to build out the marketplace even further. But here's where it gets exciting. Can someone stop messaging me? Oh, okay. Anyway, in April, we will have a publicist. Now, this is an interesting thing because how about I just take Slack and throw it out a window? So this is where it gets interesting because a publicist is a paid position, and I often think to myself, like I always look to cut spending that doesn't need to happen, right? Like, do I really need to have a publicist? I could go ahead and book my own stuff, but then you start thinking small. The reality is we do need someone whose full-time job is to make sure that they can manage the publicity around us and get me scheduled on a weekend basis at different towns across this whole country. I want to be in front of events of thousands of people every single weekend from all over this country, sharing a message, putting up our ad, and sharing exactly what we just shared with you today in a more digestible manner that's more developed and crafted to speak to the masses. Because when the offer is, hey, would you guys support Fred, or would you support Wall Street companies? Yeah, we would support Fred. Here's RHINOStreet. Do you want to own a piece of RHINOStreet? Does Google pay you? No, but we will. Do you want to be a result on RHINOStreet? Well, I don't have a business. You are a business. You're just selling your labor to your employer. We have a design team that will build your business for you and put you on RHINOStreet. Do you want to be on it? Yes. And we're going to give you Rhino Coin too. You can very quickly see that because our market is the 99% that have been forgotten, that believe they're valueless by themselves, that you could very clearly see we're going to get a lot of yeses. And when those yeses start piling up, when we start having hundreds and thousands of businesses and tens of thousands of businesses as results on our RHINOStreet search engine, again, we can't compete with Google on like their infrastructure, right? Like they have a lot of smart people that do a lot of fancy stuff. We don't need to. We're not trying to take over like indiscriminately. We're not selling ads. We're not doing any of that stuff. We're competing with the decision that the person makes when they sit down and they go to search something. Do you want to search Wall Street companies? Go to a Wall Street search engine. Do you want to search and support small businesses? Then go to RHINOStreet. Do you want Wall Street or RHINOStreet? Wall Street or RHINOStreet? When we're able to make that distinction, we're now competing. We're 1-in-1. And not only that, RHINOStreet there's only one of. Wall Street, there's Google, there's Yahoo, there's MSN. There actually becomes an opportunity that we could become bigger than them. And all the while, everything that's being supported is our community and our people on a global scale. But it's those that own the coin that are going to be the ones that prosper the most. Because and I say that not because I'm sitting here trying to sell it to you, but because for us to do this, it needs to be financed. Now we have, I believe, like 130,000 sitting around. We're not poor, but to go ahead and go on events every weekend and do all this stuff, it's going to cost money. But I can promise you the people that come in, do you think all these people that sit at these meetings and sit at these events are going to come in and say, oh, by the way, I don't want to buy any coin? Everyone's going to be participating. But on top of that, they're going to be the businesses. They're going to be the searchers. They're going to be the ones that allow the coin to get the value. Everyone is so important in what we're doing. And I'm simply the shepherd that's putting together the vision and corralling everyone to be together. So, I think I haven't been on live in a while. It gets my juices going. So as you can see here, everything's going well, right? So we started at 185. This is totally organic. We're at 653. Last week, we had a day where 3,686 people visited our website. It was Saturday. That's insane. We're up to 51 businesses. As of right now, Rhino Coin in 2024 is worth 18,000. Now, we've progressively seen this number come down. And that's, well, today's only Wednesday, right? So we still have a whole week of results to still have, and it's been a slow start. But secondly, this has all been organic. This growth has been slowing a little bit because our organic reach has tapped out our partners, has tapped out different things, has tapped out my ability to, on a percentage gain, bring in cold email stuff. But that's okay, because once we get into April and Anthony all of a sudden is going to events on a weekend basis in front of thousands of people. All right, we just got 200 here, we got 1,000 here, we got 1,500 here. You never know who you're going to meet either. I don't know who I'm going to meet. I might meet people that are like Anthony. I have like 17 million followers. Do you think we're not going to find a small business influencer somewhere that's going to hear about us and is going to want to be a part of this? I'm going to actually have to manage the coin, because I can promise you, even though organically it says we're going to run out of coin here, once we start doing this, we'll probably run out of coin somewhere over here. I cannot imagine all that coin being in existence. So we're going to have to talk about the coin, because there's going to be a point where I'm just going to have to stop selling the coin, because I want all of the businesses to have a piece of the coin. So there might be a point that we just halt sales on coin, but we're not at that point yet. So I'm going to put this away. I'm going to walk everyone through getting the coin, because it is important. And again, if you don't want to, God bless, no one's making you. But it is 2 cents now. It will be 3 cents in February. So, you know, if you like saving money, you should, right? Okay. So let's go to chat. I'm going to put this in here. Chambers of Commerce. Yeah, no, I have that on the to-do list. Deborah, really great idea. So I'm going to take a drink of water. Oh, of course, I'm only messaging hosts and panelists because Zoom for the life of me. So take a second, please click that, at least follow along. If you want to buy some coin, God bless. If you don't, that's fine too. Probably before April, so I want to say the end of the month of March, I'm going to send out a mail to everyone where I'm going to take that last week and personally do these calls, because by that point, I'm going to want to sell a lot of coin, and then I'll probably shut it down for a little bit. So just to go ahead and guide your expectations, I believe you'll be able to buy coin up until April 1st. And that's not like a April Fool's joke. April's when I'm going to be traveling, and I want to know that we have an amount of coin that I can offer it to the event participants. I can't have someone back home buying a billion coin and then me being like, oh, what do I do now? So between now and then, but I will make that call with everyone before. I will spend the time on the phone. Anyone wants 5 million, like that's fine, right? Oh, and by the way, we did take that call we did have the investor that wants to do 500,000 to 2 million of coin. I don't think that's going to go forward. The questions I was being asked, I'm just never going to sell anyone out. Like, I don't want to get into it, but it just sounded like they wanted something that was more short-term than what I would deem a suitable partner. So I don't think that's going to come in, but we have money, so I don't really care. Okay, cool. So that's that. Let's go ahead and open this up. Oh, and by the way, last thing, Rhino Charity, you guys kicked butt. We did what, 800 and something? I'm rounding it to 1,000. That charity is going to get $1,000 this month, which I'm sure V has ascribed to you plenty of times, and I know she thanked everyone yesterday. Between Dan, Mike, and Craig, and Deborah, and Tangi, and V, and Jim, and Michael. I think I got everyone, because again, I live this stuff. I know who does what they do. Thank you, seriously. And it's not, the money doesn't go to us. In fact, I matched everything and then rounded up. It's for those that look for us to do the right thing. All right, anyway, get Rhino coin. So you get to the coin portion, and as you can see, and I always will go ahead and spend some time on this, because everyone needs to know what the board is. 2 cents in January, 3 cents in February, 4 cents in March, and up to 13 cents in December. Then it's market price in January. I do think we're going to halt sales probably for the summertime and then revisit it probably at these prices, and not halt sells. Like, I will never tell you can't sell your coin back. I'm guaranteeing the market. Halting new purchases. Like, we're going to have a shortage. I'll buy all your coin right now. Okay, so that's that. So we're selling it in $100 blocks. Again, that does not recommend you buy only $100, but it does go ahead and disqualify those that might only have 10 or 20, and we want you to go buy lunch instead. And that's not meant to be silly, but I don't want to be held accountable to someone that says, oh my God, I gave you my last 1,000, I'm being kicked out of my place You know, what are we gonna do? So anyway, you get the point of the story. So $100, let's say you want to do $1,000, that's 10 times 100 is 1,000, right? Purchase. It's 309. I'll be done by 3:15. I'm sorry, guys. I already had 10 up here. So it's 20 now, but let's go back to 10. So 10 times 100 equals 1,000, subtotal 1,000. Where's my SSL? I'm gonna kick Abigail's butt. Hold on. Hey, can you please put back the SSL certification on the Rhino Coin cart page? So it is SSL certified, which I always point out to everyone, but it's no longer there. Thank you. But that's just something she'll put back. Anyway, so you go to checkout. Oh, that's so obnoxious. Anyway, so you get to the checkout. It's going to ask you for your shipping details. Obviously, this is my name. That's not my address. This is my city. That is my zip code. That's not my phone number. Continue. Because it's coin. Oh, so let me just walk you through that. So the coin, because we have merch, there's delivery methods, right? So like if you want it overnight or you want it express, blah, blah, blah. Because it's coin, it's emailed to you. So you'll get an immediate email to confirm your invoice from both Stripe and from us. Also, the beginning of every month, you get your Rhino Coin certificate, which everyone gets at the beginning of every month because everyone receives 50 coin per month just for being part of Rhino. So you have our seal, certificate of ownership, your name, the amount of coin, my signature, and the price of the coin. So you always know what you own, how you own it. And if you want it in physical, you get to print it out. If you say, Anthony, mail it to me, I'm not going to be like thrilled, but I'll do it. I mean, I'll always be thrilled, guys. Anything you want. Just 100 of you don't say it because I'm going to spend all day doing that. I don't know why I'm giving you guys ideas. It's just, all right, love you. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, anyway. So you can pick whatever method it's in the email, so it's coming right away. Then your card information, whether it's, credit card, debit card, whatever it is, continue. Obviously, I'm not putting mine in front of everyone because this gets recorded and put up everywhere. And then review and place order, done. You will be on the Rhino ledger by tomorrow. Let's take a look at it so everyone can see it, how beautiful it is. Guys, this is really getting like, woo! There is a lot of people that own coin. So it's in descending order from coin amounts. You can see who the big holders are. You can always see where your name is. This is your first name. I have your last names and emails on a private doc. I'll never post that, but you'll always know where the ledger is. This is updated every single morning, Monday through Friday, and sometimes Saturday, depends if I bring my computer home. So that's that. Lastly, you can always sell your coin. Ready to sell? Okay, my name is Anthony. My last name is Calishone. My email is anthonycalishone@rhinoresearchllc.com. All right, look at the sales prices. We have it. Remember, it's managed market. You know the prices. All right, June, I want to sell at 7 cents. I just bought 100,000. I want to sell 20,000 in June at 7 cents. Yes, I'm requesting to sell. Yes, I'm not a robot. Crosswalk, I think it's here. Are you one of those that like look in? Can you see a crosswalk up there? Because I am, and the computer thinks I'm nuts. See, apparently it already does. Traffic lights. Okay, by submitting, I'm going to view the terms and conditions. The terms and conditions I wrote myself. If you like the way I speak, it's all written exactly the way I speak. There's no crazy language. Read it. It's a good read. Have fun with it. All right, submit. Now that submission goes directly to my email, goes directly to my watch, goes directly to our calendar. So come June, I'm going of the coin that we sell to the community, to all the participants of Rhino, 20,000 of it, it's going to be on behalf of Anthony because Anthony requested a submission to sell. In which case, once that's sold, that goes back to Anthony. And actually, we have a couple of Rhinos that have already made submissions to sell. If any of them are on, you're welcome to raise your hand and say you've gotten your purchase, you've gotten your money back, because that's Rhino, right? Like we're not, all right, we got you. No, the money goes back. You want to sell it, that's fine. So that's that. Next Wednesday, I'll have some more updates for you. I'm going, actually, let me get off the share. I want to see my face. So next Wednesday, I would have had the ads all conceptualized. I'm really close to doing it. I was going to do it today, but I'm spending all tomorrow. I will not be taking emails or anything. I keep saying that, but like, obviously I will. But I'm going to be completely off the radar tomorrow. I take off my watch, I take off my stuff. I sit in a dark room, I look at my whiteboards, and I will be mapping out frame by frame what the ad looks like. And I'll share it with you next week. Next week, the coin will be 3 cents, so please get in now. Or don't. I'm completely fine with everyone purchasing the coin at a higher amount, just because. All right, at 3:15 exactly. Sorry, I went 15 minutes over. I seriously love all of you. I can't wait to go home and eat some pasta. My wife says she hid it. I'm going to find it because I'm starving and I haven't eaten yet. And if anybody needs me, call me, text me, email me. Bruce, I'm going to get on that right now for you before I leave. And guys, we're doing it. RHINOStreet.com is where you'll see the search engine. It's going to be developed from scratch. So that's kind of just a placement holder for everyone because I wanted you to see where we're going. I need everyone to visualize it. But we have a developer coding a search engine from scratch. Like, this is where we're going. And if you believe that there is a value in asking someone and believing that their answer might at least be 50-50, if you want to search a large business, search Wall Street search engines. If you want to search for small business, search RhinoStreet. Do you think people would appreciate the option? And if you do believe that, then we can very quickly become viral enough that our messaging, the people that we're helping, the way we're doing it, and the value proposition that we're giving everyone is going to allow us, what I've always predicted, and everyone thought I was crazy. I think you're starting to see it a little bit more, that Rhino will be Times Man of the Year 2022. It's been my goal, and I'm not stopping. So I love everyone. I will see you next week. We sent out an email from V. She literally doesn't stop talking about everyone at Rhino. She is Rhino to the core. If people could go ahead and please just email her back, have a little conversation with her, because she's looking like V's not me. And thank God, right? But to go ahead and host some of these, I think it would be helpful to her if she had some of the advice that you great rhinos had given me during the time. So just reach back to her, ask what she had for breakfast. It's probably something delicious, but she's amazing and she wouldn't be there unless she was. So please email her back and say hello. All right, guys, that's it. 3:17. Love you. Bye.